The work at Meadowwood Early Childhood Education Center is really exciting because it's given us a chance to deepen our understanding of what it is we mean by rigor at the preschool level. I see a lot of work about rigor in general terms, but what we're getting to do is to really do a deep dive and clarify specifically what we mean by rigor for our kiddos, 3 and 4-year-olds, as we're extending and elaborating on their thinking, really giving them a chance to own what it is they're learning and make it personal so that they don't have to have so many struggles when they get to 1st and 2nd grade about what it means for them personally to be great students and to invest themselves in learning. So it's been fantastic learning for us so far at Meadowwood because we've been able to start to really identify kind of some of these specific inputs for our thinking and for our planning that show up in rich, meaningful, engaging learning experiences for our kids. So what we want to talk about is the 17th, the lesson that we're going to do. And I was just on the Google Doc, the rigor doc that we're working on. I made some edits, but I really like the way it's coming along. So the work that you guys have been putting into it, I think it's developing nicely. So what do we want kids to understand? What do we want them to feel? And what are our targets for rigor? Those are the 3 things that I want to make sure that we cover in this call.
Okay.
So let's start with the understand goal. What do we want kids to understand in this lesson? Or, excuse me, this learning experience?
That a farm is where people live, work, and raise animals. That farm animals have specific characteristics, and animals on the farm have specific jobs or roles.
So they're broken down into 3 weeks. So week 1 is where
people live, work, and raise animals.
And then week 2 is the farm animals are like different.
3 is animals on a farm help people. So on the 17th, we'll kind of need to know like what week we were on and what you guys have done the pre. So
we've done the pre, so we can kind of discuss what that experience will incorporate
prior, so that we have the full understanding of what's going to come out of that lesson. Because you may not have talked about how farm animals help people necessarily, so that's something you need to think about when we're talking about the experience that we're going to offer.
And just as I'm listening to you guys, right, there's also a really important learning in here about community, about interconnectedness. So I'm in a lot of, elementary school classrooms, of course, and one of the big early science conceptual understandings for kiddos in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade is around ecosystems and the interdependence of organisms and ecosystems. We'll be able to go back to that, not just at Meadowwood, but that'll be helpful to kids going on through the years.
So some of the guiding questions that we had already put on there are children will describe
where people on the farm live and work.
Children will describe a specific characteristic of a farm, and then week 3 would be children will name and label things that grow or raise on a farm.
Yeah, especially with those second 2, those farm animals are alike and different. And the farm animals help people. I think we really want to think about how we can create experience around that. Because otherwise, if we don't, then we're really kind of staying in the low rigor range of the learning experience. It's really just about kids practicing recall, naming things, pointing to things. Part of what we really want to come out here is we want kids to be able to do something more dynamic than just kind of those DOK1 type skills.
And that might be something we build off of, because remember last year our learning lab was about the farm, and so everybody
experienced that video of the cows being milked and the sheep shearing. So from that experience, how do we go deeper into those DOK 2 and 3 and 4 levels with that experience in mind?
I think one of the things that we took away from that last year was that students really
to kind of bring in their background knowledge or experiences around that.
That was something we missed.
Yes, so that might be one thing I want to think about. So
the other idea that I'm playing around with in my brain is, you guys know how much I like to play with videos. I'm thinking of a video that we can make working in a little green screen action. John can tell you about green screens later on. You guys know anything about green screens? So what I'm imagining is, you know, maybe a couple of us using green screen technology and planning ourselves on a video farm, right? Us being on a farm, us being right next to a cow, us being right next to pigs, us being right next to chickens. And we can use this video to explain the roles, and then have the kids, part of their learning will be, they'll have station work in these farm roles. Really what I was thinking about more than anything, I think I just threw the pig out, but I'm thinking about a problem. What I'm thinking is, can we introduce a problem, and we're asking the kids to leverage what they've learned to either identify a solution or actually act on the solution.
It's more of a
blending and putting it all together.
yeah, and maybe it's, I don't know.
It's like exact opposite.
I know
like
it's
it.
kind
I
of
like
weird,
it.
but I'm thinking maybe
Might make more
that
sense
might
to
make
them.
more sense, and to me it would too. If I was learning about one thing, it would be the whole concept instead of broken down this way.
It would be hard for the kids to, oh, remember what we said in week 1, what the farmer does
Yeah.
for his cow or whatever. It'd be easier to remember those things.
Because then you're talking about their characteristics, you're talking about what they do, where they live,
And then that
how
third
they
week,
help
you can
us.
bring it all
You
together.
could take
to
it
see
all
if they
together.
can then tell you what's the difference.
Yeah.
Versus me telling you right then and there, and then like 5 minutes later, me question you about.
Yes.
So what's the difference? It's
Well,
like,
and then that would go with his idea of the kids being able to do those deeper thinking questions and be able to articulate.
Everything I'm hearing tells me that you guys are golden. All right, so I think we're clear. My biggest thing is always about making sure that we're clear about our targets for rigor, and then that, you know, that entails that includes those questions about what we want kids to understand and what we want them to feel. I think, you know, the biggest thing, of course, is just making sure that we're using our resources well, you know, and you know, managing the experience in a way that it doesn't overwhelm us. But everything that you guys are saying, and just as you guys were just even starting to play around and explore with what the actual experience can be, I know I'm already seeing it's going to be fantastic.
Because we can't really plan for it if we don't know the kids in front of us.
Yeah, the questioning that you could use.
Because you're going to ask these questions for some of your students. Some of your students are going to need this question.
so they're gonna make
Applying is what they've learned and they're applying it too. Next section is, what do you expect engagement will look
Everything
like?
that we're teaching the kids in this manner, you know, it'll stick with them, and I think that they'll take so much from it.
And I'm gonna take so much from it.
Right, because I've been learning things too that I didn't know about
Yeah.
animals. So
Well, and it just makes me like learn as a teacher,
As a
like
better
what I
teacher,
can
right.
do better next year and the next year after that, and like learn from my mistakes.
right,
Obviously, it's never gonna be perfect, but
you get
as a
better every
teacher,
year.
Yeah, you just want to learn from yourself.
Howdy, y'all! I'm Farmer Janie. And I'm Farmer Tamika. We're here to tell you some fun farm animal facts. Are you ready? This is not a real horsey, but these are real horsies.
And something else I found out about chickens is that they swallow rocks to help when they digest their food. Do you guys swallow rocks?
After the introduction of the video that we made on Farmer Larry's farm, my writing demo was also me thinking about what shapes can I use to make my favorite farm animal a home, a safe place. One of the questions that I asked one of the students, Diego, which was one of the rigor questions, was what would happen if the cow got into the pig pen and was in the mud spot? What does a horse need to live on a farm? A house, but what kind of house?
A barn.
A who?
A barn.
So we did the video to kind of introduce the farm. So we pretended to be on the farm. And then you made us a video of the chicken on the table. So we first showed the chicken on the table, hopefully to kind of put in their brains that something came into the classroom. And then today all the corn were missing, and I was hoping for them to make that connection of maybe the chicken took the corn and then what they could do about it.
That's a good idea. We can trap the baby and the mama. Mine.
Andrea, what's your plan over here?
A polar bear trap.
A polar bear trap. So you think it was a polar bear?
I'm making it. Oh, you don't think a big chicken can fit in this cage?
I can help you with that.
So we did the farmer's kitchen and we had to feed Miss Betsy and a pork chop
Come on, little piggy.
with the real food and they had fake food in. So they came up with the slop, which is lettuce, carrots, and apples. And then the cow ate grass.
Do I look like a real farmer?
You look like a great farmer.
Cows eat leftovers, or do the cows just eat grass?
Just grass, I think.
Why? So, you guys tell me what you need. Do what you want.
They're pets. What kind of pets?
Guys, look what else I found. What are pigs? What are they?
They're omnivores.
Good job.
It was good. It was a lot more nerve-wracking than I thought it would be. And it's for kids, so it was a little more fun than needing to be serious. It would have been nice to have seen the video as we were doing it, because I feel like some of my timing was off, but then I think that natural kind of goofiness was also good.
I think the piece of like actually planning them out and knowing what I'm looking for or what I'm going to be asking was helpful. I usually do pretty good with the open-ended questions and having kids give me more feedback versus like the yes or no's or just like the choice ones. For the young girl that you got, Monty, hers was more of a yes, no, with like a nod or her pointing because of the language. So it depends on the kiddo as to how like this activity is going to fluctuate so that each kid can be successful in it.
Doing it one-on-one with the kids was a lot easier to implement those questions versus trying to do it large group.
I'm learning how to be more rigorous with the kids and just the questions and how I teach and stuff. So
we asked those questions, planned the lesson around those questions. I feel like it lends itself to being engaging.
definitely a good lesson to learn, and I'm excited to continue with this learning and be more rigorous in the classroom with the questions that I ask and how I teach. So
sometimes you just think the action, like the what if questions, is open-ended, but actually, you know, so what would happen if the cow did this? Makes it a little bit more where they have to do some of that higher level thinking.
What came out of that was some of the kids were like, oh, we should have added a lock on the boxes. I added distractions to the boxes. And
type of like actually directly working off like the equity lesson plan and things. It's been helpful to kind of like lay out versus, you know, I always plan around gold or, you know, state standards and things like this, but then this just takes that piece a little deeper for the kiddos. So
our center time is 70 minutes, and I would say the students were engaged with the activity for at least 40 minutes, so a big chunk of center time, which I could say most of our activities don't have them that long, that focus for that long. So I think overall it definitely was good for them.
I think the kids really enjoyed it. It was educational, obviously, and they got something out of it.